Hello, hello, welcome to my channel. My name's Amelie if you're new here. If you're not, welcome back. And today's video is the top 5 reasons you're not seeing results. Before we get into the video, I wanted to remind you guys to follow my other platforms. They're at Amelie Desai and at FitWAmelie. I have Instagram, Pinterest, and TikTok. I post all kinds of fitness, fashion, lifestyle related content over there, and I'm super active. My DMs are always open. I love hearing from you guys, so please make sure to follow me over there because it helps me more than you guys know. Our community is growing so fast and I just want to stay connected. So now that that's out of the way, we're gonna get into the top 5 reasons you're not seeing results. And in case you are new to my channel, I wanted to mention that I have an entire video posted all about my fitness journey if you want a little bit of background on that, so you can see my credentials, if you will. One last thing before we get into the video, I just wanted to mention that I am not a certified personal trainer or dietitian, so this is all coming from personal experience and my own research, but feel free to take it with a grain of salt. We're gonna get right into it with nutrition. Honestly, when it comes to anything with fitness in your body, it's probably 80% nutrition and 20% fitness. The workouts that you do matter, but if you're not fueling your body with the proper food and nutrition to support those workouts, you're not going to see the physical results that you want. Whether your goals are certain aesthetics or certain performance goals, food is what's going to get you there. If you aren't really being honest with yourself about how you are fueling your body, you're not going to see the results that you want. So, for example, if you're trying to lose fat, you have to be in a calorie deficit. Sometimes people think that they're in a calorie deficit, but you're not actually in a deficit. And there are a few ways that you can make sure that you're in a deficit. One of the most popular ways is tracking, but I know that that's not for everyone because it can become obsessive. And for me personally, as a teenager, it just doesn't really fit into my lifestyle. So I kind of go on and off with tracking macros. Right now, I'm not tracking, but that is a good way to make sure that you're hitting your exact protein goals, fat goals, carb goals, and calorie goals. This goes into people thinking that they're in a deficit, but they're not actually in a deficit. Because if you aren't actually being aware of the food that you're putting into your body, people tend to underestimate the amount of calories or fat that's in certain foods, which could make you believe that you're in a deficit when you're actually not. And if you're someone who's trying to figure out what a calorie deficit is for you, there's lots of macro calculators online that you can use. Just try to make sure that it's a trustworthy website. And also, you should never be eating below 1,200 calories. Honestly, you shouldn't be eating below 1,500, but if you are someone that's eating anything less than 1,200, that is so unhealthy. You are going to slow down your metabolism. You think that you might help yourself lose fat and lose weight by being in such a steep calorie deficit, but in actuality, your body isn't gonna have enough fuel to fuel its muscles, and you're just gonna end up, 1, potentially looking skinny fat, if you will, and 2, in the long run, it's not going to be sustainable and you're going to end up gaining the weight right back or becoming terminally ill. So please make sure that you are eating way more than 1,200 calories. There are lots of macro and calorie calculators online that you can use, and make sure that you are actually being honest with the amount of calories that you're eating. The second part of this is not eating enough protein. So macronutrients are protein, carbs, and fats. All of them are just as important in your diet. You need them all. They all help your body run and function properly. But especially when it comes to losing fat and gaining muscle, protein is what we're gonna focus on. So you could be eating in a calorie deficit, but not prioritizing your protein, and you will lose weight because you're in a calorie deficit, but you probably won't lose as much fat. Most people say they wanna lose weight, but in actuality, they wanna lose fat because weight is just the effect that gravity has on you, whereas fat is how visible and toned your muscles are. To continue, most people are chasing the toned look. If you want to look toned, you have to have muscle. And if you want to have muscle, you have to eat enough protein. Think of it this way. A car will run on any kind of gas. You can use the standard cheapest gas, or you can give it the expensive premium gas. Either way, it's gonna run, but if you invest and you spend the premium gas, it's gonna run better and you're gonna get more mileage. So this is like eating in a calorie deficit, not prioritizing protein, versus eating in a calorie deficit and prioritizing protein. You're gonna lose fat, gain muscle, and achieve all of your goals. So nutrition is so important. You have to be honest with yourself with how you're prioritizing it, how you're fueling your body, how much protein you're eating, and if you're actually in a calorie deficit. Or if you're in a calorie surplus, if you're someone who's trying to gain muscle, bulk up, Either way you have it, you have to be honest with yourself with if you're actually achieving your nutrition goals or if you think you're achieving your nutrition goals. The next reason that you might not be seeing results is that you're not pushing yourself in the gym. You don't have to be sore after every workout for it to be an effective workout, and you don't have to give 100% into every single workout because we're humans. We're not always going to be able to give our 110% best effort into everything, but what's important is consistency, and consistently you have to be pushing yourself. What I mean by pushing yourself is you shouldn't finish reps and be like, wow, that was so easy. Because the point of it isn't to be easy. The point is to challenge your body, challenge yourself, break those bonds, create new muscles, whatever type of fitness goals you want. If it's building muscle or increasing your running distance, you have to be pushing yourself. And it doesn't have to be pushing yourself to the point of where you're like throwing up and you can't breathe and you just hate fitness. It's not like that. But if you're running a mile and your goal is to run 2 miles, you have to start upping your distance. It could just be one day you run 1 mile, the next day you run 1.1 miles, but you have to be pushing yourself so that you can eventually reach your goal. I fall victim to this as well. Sometimes I'll have workouts and I'll have to think, was I really pushing myself? Because everything felt easy, I barely broke a sweat, and I just spent 2 hours of my life working towards my fitness goals, but I was kind of just staying at a standstill. I'm not really advancing towards my fitness goals. You can push yourself by upping your weight, upping your reps, upping your time, upping your distance, upping your speed. Whatever part of fitness that you're working on in your workout, there's always gonna be a way to push yourself. And even if it's just going to the very last rep, like if you're someone who's doing home workouts and you're following along a home workout, again, I do this all the time. It's something I have to work on, but I will hear like the 5-second countdowns that I'm gonna be done working out in 5 seconds, and I'll stop as soon as I hear those beeps. Whereas actually I should keep going until the very, very, very end of those beeps. If you guys do home workouts, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, just push yourself, make sure that you're giving your best effort that you can. The last thing that I have to add to this section is kind of changing your mentality around working out. You could view it as a workout or you could view it as training. And when you view it as training your body, at least for me, that kind of flips a switch in my head to give my full effort, because when you're training for something, it's like you constantly have to improve, you constantly have to better yourself so that you can perform your best. Whereas a workout is just like, oh, I want an 11-line abs, I guess I'll just go do some crunches, you know? It's kind of the difference of an I have to versus an I get to train my body, shape my body, turn it into this muscle machine. So that's how I like to think of it, working out versus training. The next reason that you might not be seeing results, I feel like I've kind of already touched on, and it is that you're not being honest with yourself. And when I say this, I just mean the overall effort that you're really putting into your fitness goals. People are very quick to get discouraged and start to complain that you're not seeing your results, that fitness isn't meant for you, your body's just not responding. But you really have to be honest with yourself about how much work you're putting in towards your goals. Whatever your goals are, whether they're physical, appearance, fitness-based, whatever it is, it's all about consistency. And if you're not being honest with how consistent you're being, you're gonna be expecting results that you haven't put enough effort to get. Say you've been on your fitness journey for 3 months and you think that your body looks the exact same. But then if you zoom into those 3 months, you realize that you've been having cheat days every single weekend, you've been slacking on the cardio, you haven't been pushing yourself in your workouts or supporting your nutrition, kind of saying, oh, I guess this will do, skipping the gym here and there, really just not putting in the full effort. And then you get to the end of the 3 months and you're like, what the heck? Where are my results? When in reality, you weren't honest with yourself, you were not putting in enough effort to get those results. So you have to make sure that you're being honest with yourself and asking yourself, am I putting in everything that I can right now towards my goals? And if the answer is no, then you have some work to do, because you can't expect to get results that you have to work hard for if you're not working hard. And again, when I say putting in 100% effort, take it with a grain of salt. We're human. We can't always put in 100% effort. Things are gonna come up. You might get sick, you might travel, you might lose electricity. Like for example, a tree literally just fell down in front of my house and I lost power for pretty much 3 days. So for 3 days, I can't cook at my house, which is making meals a little bit more challenging. But I know that I have this challenge. I'm gonna be honest with myself and I'm gonna still put in the best effort that I can to fuel my body with foods that's gonna help me reach my goals, even though I can't cook. So it's not always about being 100% perfect, but it is about trying your best even when you can't put in 100% effort. The fourth reason as to why you might not be seeing results is that you're just not seeing them, but they're still happening. One of the best ways to track progress is through photos and videos. Do not use the scale, because you could be making progress and physical changes and the scale wouldn't even budge. And that's because fat is less dense than muscle. 5 pounds of muscle might take up this much on your body, whereas 5 pounds of fat might take up this much. So even though your body is physically shrinking or you're becoming stronger, the scale might get heavier, it might stay the same, and you're still making progress. So you might just not be noticing them if you're only basing your progress on what the scale says. So for this reason, I recommend that if you are someone with physique goals, take photos and videos, don't go off the scale. Also, sometimes our minds just warp how we see our body and how we perceive our body, and that can lead us just to not appreciate the progress that we have made. Again, this is where pictures come in as being a great way to track progress, because if you are having a bad body image day and you feel like you haven't seen results and you're just not feeling motivated in your fitness journey, you can look at a picture taken months ago and see how far you've actually come. Another thing I want to add is that progress isn't just physical. Progress can also be seen in your habits, and it's important to not only focus on how your body looks, but also how your body feels. I think that so much of fitness now has become about a physical appearance, when in actuality, it's about a lifestyle and improving your quality of life and your energy and your just overall capabilities. If you've been on your fitness and wellness journey for a few months, you might notice that it's now easier to wake up in the morning, or you feel more awake throughout the day, or you were able to carry in all of the groceries at once instead of taking 2 trips back to the car. There's small wins like that that aren't about what your body looks like, and it's so much about how your body feels that play into fitness and making progress. And I think it's really important that we notice those and not just the physical ones. So you might actually be making progress and you're just not seeing it because you're so focused on the goal so far ahead that you aren't seeing the little progress that you're making right now. The last and final reason as to why you might not be seeing results is just because you haven't given yourself enough time. Results take time. Fitness takes time, because fitness is not just changing how your body looks. It's about changing your entire identity, because this isn't going to be a quick way to lose 10 pounds and then you're going to go back to your old habits. This is going to be a full identity change because you're improving the quality of your life, and that takes time. Getting into the habit of waking up early takes time. Getting into the habit of drinking water takes time. Getting into the habit of going to the gym 5 times a week takes time. Losing X pounds takes time. Getting to this body fat percentage takes time. If you've been able to consistently work out and consistently hit your nutrition goals for 2 weeks straight, but you still feel like you aren't seeing results, I just want to tell you, first of all, that's amazing. I'm so proud of you. You are getting so much closer to your end goals. You are actively working to better your life, and that is a result in and of itself. But you have to be realistic and know that your body can't change in 2 weeks as drastically as you might want it to. And you shouldn't let that discourage you, but you should be aware of that so that you can continue your habits without losing motivation. And I feel like this kind of feeds a lot into comparison, because now with social media, the great thing is we can see so many people's fitness transformations all at once and appreciate them and use it to motivate us and relate to them and get the feelings of, wow, I can do this too, which you can. But social media doesn't let you see the time taken between each photo. So for example, I have TikTok, like I said, it's Amelie Desai. I post lots of transformation videos on there, and you might see those 2 pictures and think that it happened in a year, when actually this month marks 3 years of me consistently working out 5 times a week, hitting my nutrition goals, putting in the effort towards investing in my body and myself. So you might see those pictures and wonder why you aren't seeing results or why your fitness journey doesn't look anything like that, but you've only been working out for a month or 2 months or 6 months. So I just think that that's something really important to acknowledge, that fitness and physical goals especially take a lot of time because your body has to adapt and completely change itself, and you have to give it that time. So be patient and fall in love with the process, because if you're so focused on the goals, your process isn't going to be sustainable. But if you start enjoying the steps that you need to do that will take you to your end goal, you're not going to be worried about how long it's going to take you to get there because you're enjoying it the entire time. So that's why it's so important to not only give yourself enough time to see the results, but also to fall in love with the process rather than just the end goal. So those were the 5 reasons why you might not be seeing results. I hope that this was helpful and educational. Please feel free to comment down below any questions. I'm trying to be as active as possible. I want to restate, I have Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, at AmelieDesai, FitWAmelie. I'm so active over there. I check my DMs every single day. So if you guys have any questions, comments, anything like that, I love hearing from you guys. Please like and subscribe. It helps me so much. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one.